Hey guys, it's Greg with Dodge Designs. So this is my job site setup. I'm going to use it for any sort of trim work, cabinet work, if I'm doing any railings, any sort of finesse work. This is the setup that I'm going to have. In this video, I'm going to show you guys all the different features of this setup, as well as break down how it was built. So maybe this could help you guys in your setup. So stick around and check it out. So let's start at the beginning. Starts with the packout drawers. Now, you do not need to have these packout drawers. You don't need to have anything pack out in order to get this setup to work. I just use it because I know I'm going to use these anyway. So for me, it's one less thing to have to set up. I don't have to have a table set up also. I just have these packouts set up so that I can get to all my nice, neat, organized fasteners and tools and things. Then I lock my saw into this, and then I'm good to go. If you want, all you have to do is get any sort of table, any sort of workbench, a piece of plywood on some folding tables. Doesn't make a difference. Anything you want, this system will work. As you see here, I'm just using a pop-up cheap workbench that I keep in the van. You can use anything, a folding table, a piece of plywood, anything you have, a countertop in a kitchen. Doesn't make a difference. It works. The only difference that you have to do is you have to adjust the legs on the wings, the height down to the table height. So what I'm doing here is basically just mounting cleats to the back of a sheet of plywood. This particular sheet of plywood was already mounted to my chop saw, my MITER saw. So I just added these cleats that I got on Amazon. I'll leave a link down in the description. But pretty much you line them up, screw them in, and then they clip right into the packout system. Now that the locks are mounted, all I have to do is snap it in place. Now let's talk about the extension wings. Basically, all I did was I took a roller extension from Harbor Freight, cut off one of the legs so that it was just one leg up and down, took off the roller, and then mounted it and made this extension wing to the exact size of that roller. That determined how big this was going to be to make it easy. Bolted it onto the two sides and added this bungee cord to hold it in place. That way it comes off nice and easy. Then to set it up, all I have to do, lift it up into place, leave it roughly standing on its leg, and use my 1/4-20 thumb screws to tighten it down. I use threaded inserts in the plywood to make it a much stronger hold, and I use epoxy around those threaded inserts. Because anytime you want to mount into 3/4 plywood and you want it to hold for a long period of time, I always use threaded inserts with epoxy. And I'm good. I'll set up the other one the same way. Now I want to make sure the height is good. Real simple. It's a single knob, goes up and down, and all I want to do is sight down the whole saw with the two wings to make sure that it's as straight as I can get it. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you want it pretty close. Let's talk about how these wings were made. So I severely overbuilt this. It did not need to be made this way. If you're going to consider making something similar, I suggest you just go with something simple like plywood, which is what I made for the top here. On the outside here, it's solid poplar, and I had some extra Iroko sitting around, so I used that to make this block to be able to bolt it down. If I were to do it again, I would just use strips of plywood. I think it would work just fine. My favorite part about this are these little thumb screws. 1/4-20 thumb screws with a plastic head. It allows me to be able to tighten these down without any tools, and works really, really well. I also have an integral T-track screwed into here. This is for my crown stop. I'll show you that in a minute. I have a track on the back for the stop. So just a 3/4-inch T-track so that I can screw my stop to either side. It's on both wings. That way I can have a stop on the right side and a stop on the left side. You'll see there's an angle cut here. That's important because when the saw moves, it needs to be able to swing all the way. And if you don't have this angle cut, you will not be able to swing all the way to the end because this saw can cut up to 60 degrees. So a really important feature of this saw was to have two tape measures. I wanted one that would go from the saw blade and one that would come from the end. Sometimes I just want to make a measurement, and sometimes I want to do repeat cuts off the saw. The first tape measure is fixed to the end, so all I have to do, line my piece of trim up with the end, and then I can take my measurement and mark. It's quicker and easier than using a tape measure, especially if I'm doing a lot of trim. So the other tape measure, I want it to be adjustable. That's really important because no matter how close I think I get, if I want precise cuts, every time I set this saw up, it could be a little bit different, off by a 32nd and 16th of an inch, and that's enough to make an impact on my trim work. So in order to calibrate this tape measure, it's pretty easy. All I do is I take a tape measure, I measure a piece of scrap to, in this case I did 14 inches. I'm going to line it up, make that cut at 14 inches, and then take a pencil and mark the other side. What that does is it gives me a location right on the wing of where exactly 14 inches is. Then I just take the magnetic tape measure, pull it loose, and line it up to that 14-inch mark. Spread it out along the whole thing, and now I know I'm good to go. So once the tape measure is calibrated, then I can start using the stop block. All I have to do is set the stop where I want to make the cut, slide my block up against it, and make my cut. Then I can repeat the cut over and over as many times as I want, because that's what this is used for. A really important feature of this stop block was to be able to flip it out of place. So instead of using a track, say like this one, where it sits on the surface and gets locked in on the surface, I wanted it to flip behind. So I used this type of stop so that anything can go on top of this table and I can use it as a workbench, and my stop block doesn't have to be removed. Whenever I'm ready, flip the stop back and I'm ready to cut again. So it's really important to me to have a crown stop built into this system. All these companies like Festool and DeWalt and Makita, they all have their own types of crown stops, but I don't find that they're solid enough. I like to make my own. Now I've made other ones that will go on to any saw, but it's an L shape, it's a whole big elaborate system. Instead, I wanted a simple system that would lock in to a T-track like this. So I made a piece of plywood, cut it to the shape of this curve so that I'd be able to see better. Used a 1/4-20 bolt and a female thumb screw so that it would lock in place. You can use a T-bolt as well, but it's not really necessary. 1/4-20 hex screws or hex bolts will fit in the T-track as well. And now I can set, based on my spring angle of the crown molding, exactly where I will need this to be. Tighten down the thumb screws. I'm ready to start cutting crown. Alright guys, so that's my setup. Hopefully you got something out of this video. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button. I really appreciate it. Consider subscribing so you guys can get more content like this. Hopefully I'll see you on the next one.